Welcome to Talisman, the magical quest game. Today we'll fill you in on everything you need to know to get started on your epic adventure. A new age is dawning in the place you call home. A place teeming with strange creatures, magical kingdoms, and all manner of folk, from the pompous mage to the humble beggar. The Talismans have fallen from the sky, heralding the quest for the crown of command. Whoever bears the crown will rule the world in the era to come. Only one can guide it through the coming age. Perhaps that person is you. Begin your adventure on the board's outer and middle regions, building up your lives' strength and craft. Only when you acquire a talisman and feel you are powerful enough will you venture to the crown of command space, defeat the elder dragon, and claim its prize. If you become the first player to do so, you win. To set up your play area, first place your game board in the center of play, within reach of all players. Shuffle the adventure and spell card decks. Place the following in separate piles next to the board: adventure cards, spell cards, purchase cards, talisman cards, toad cards, toad tokens, fate tokens, alignment tokens, strength counters, life counters, craft counters, and gold. Finally, place the 3 dice within the reach of all players. Now it's time to set up your character. Choose one player to go first. That player will look through the character deck and choose one character card and the matching figure. The player to their right repeats this process, and so on until everyone has a character. Next, find your character's starting space on your card and place your character figure there on the board. Your character's starting space will always be in the outer region. Now, take note of a few things on your character card. Your character starts with an alignment: good, neutral, or evil. That you may change before you start playing. Changing this will change the way your character interacts with certain cards and board spaces. Some characters begin with 1 or 2 spells, which is indicated in the special abilities on your character card. Read your special abilities carefully and keep them in mind during gameplay. If your character starts with 1 or 2 spells, draw them from the spell deck. Take the amount of gold, life counters, and fate tokens indicated on your character card. As you play, you collect more of these as well as objects, followers, and strength and craft counters. Keep track of what you collect by placing them next to your character card. Ready to embark on your quest, adventurer? The last one to choose their character goes first. Then, play moves to the left. On your turn, you will do 2 things: move, and then encounter a character or a space. To move in the outer or middle regions, where you'll start the game, roll 1 die and move left or right the number of spaces you've rolled. You cannot change direction after you start your movement. Keep in mind that the rules of movement change when you're in the inner region. So be sure to refer to page 21 of the rulebook for more information when your quest progresses to that point. Don't like your movement roll? You can spend 1 fate token to change your movement roll to any number up to 6. You can also spend a fate token to re-roll 1 die in other situations, such as in combat or while interacting with board spaces. As you grow more powerful, you'll want to move into the middle and inner regions of the board and closer to your final objective. Let's start discussing the ways you can move from the outer region to the middle region. The outer and middle regions are separated by the Storm River. You may cross the river by crossing the bridge on the Sentinel space, using a raft, or as the result of an encounter. For more information on how to achieve these crossings, refer to pages 17 and 18 in the rulebook. The only way to enter the inner region is to open the Portal of Power in the middle region. To do this, your movement must be enough to carry you beyond the Portal of Power space, and you must follow the encounter rules of that space. For more information on how to achieve this crossing, refer to page 18 in the rulebook. Here's an example of what crossing the Sentinel's Bridge might look like. Let's say you're on the graveyard as the sorceress, and you roll a 6 for movement. You have sufficient movement to cross the Sentinel's Bridge, so you decide to move to the left. You challenge the Sentinel, and a battle ensues. You cast an immobility spell, allowing you to evade the Sentinel. You now move onto the hills in the middle region and continue your movement right, landing on the portal of power. Unless otherwise instructed, you'll typically only have encounters during your turn. The rules of encountering vary depending on what board region you're in. If you're in the middle or outer regions, you must either encounter the space or a character on the space where you land. You may not do both. The rules of encountering characters and encountering spaces also change when you're in the inner region. So remember, refer to pages 20 and 21 in the rulebook. Let's say you're playing the troll. You land on the graveyard, and you choose to encounter the elf, who is also on the graveyard. You attack and initiate a battle, measured by strength. Keep in mind that some characters, such as the sorcerers, can use a special ability against a character instead of attacking. Characters also initiate psychic combat measured by craft, only if they have the special ability to do so. In this case, you and the elf each roll 1 die. You roll a 2. Add your roll to your strength, plus any modifiers from cards or abilities you have. It looks like you have a sword. With a roll of 2, a strength of 6, and a +1 modifier from your sword, your attack score is 9. The elf has a strength of 3 and rolls a 4, for a defense score of 7. Congratulations! You've defeated the elf. You may force the elf to lose 1 life, or you may take 1 object or 1 gold from them. The elf gains 1 fate token, and your turn ends. Now, let's talk about encountering a space. If there are enemy cards on the space, you must defeat or evade them first. If you fail to do so, your turn ends. If you succeed, you encounter the space by simply following the rules of that board space. Finally, you may take any gold, objects, or followers on the space where your turn ends. Say you are the wizard. You land on a fields space, and you choose to encounter the space itself. In this case, you draw 1 card. It's an ape. Since you drew an enemy, you place it on the fields and attack it immediately. You have a base strength of 3, which is the strength on your card plus the 1 strength counter you earned earlier in the game. And you roll a 4, making your attack score a 7. The ape has a strength of 3 and rolls a 2 to defend, making its defense score of 5. You successfully defeat the ape. You may keep the ape as a trophy, or, since its strength is equal to or higher than your base strength, you may turn it in and gain 1 more strength counter. This is the end of your turn. Keep in mind that character and space encounters vary greatly and won't always look like the ones you just saw. When in doubt, use the Talisman encounter sequence located on the back of the rulebook to figure out exactly what actions to take on your turn, and in what order. Use the rulebook to look up more information about board spaces, encounters, and cards. Don't worry if you don't know it all yet. Just look up the information you need as you go. It's time to set out on your journey. We hope you enjoy your exciting adventures in the world of Talisman.